Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Durango. I have been a full-time creative professional for the last year and a half, I would say. And over this year and a half, I have learned so many things, not only about how to run a business, but about myself and about the whole creative industry as a whole. In an attempt for me to grow my personal brand, I am trying to get a lot more comfortable doing YouTube videos. Today, I wanted to come to you guys and fill you in on my perspective of 5 misconceptions that I had when leaving my full-time job as a social media manager to running my creative agency full-time. The number one misconception that I had was that I was selling a product or service. When you have a creative agency, or any business for that matter, you're not selling a product or service, you're actually selling an emotion. It shouldn't be something that you have to think about. It should already be something that you provide to your clients. So trust and reliability are the two emotions that my company sells, and we just sell that through video production. Because when you become aware of what it is that you're actually providing your customers beyond the tangible aspects of it, it makes it so much easier when you're conscious and aware of it to really optimize that strategy. They know that not only are they going to get a consistent product from me, which builds trust and reliability, but also they won't need to go anywhere else. And they'll recommend me to their friends or colleagues who also need video work done. I actually saw something on Instagram not too long ago that said, Ferrari doesn't sell cars, they sell luxury. And that one was like just a snap moment, because I realized that that's what my company sells. We sell trust and reliability versus videography services. So if you look at that aspect of it, that is really what's going to set your business apart. I used to always think that becoming the best videography agency out there, which is obviously subjective, was going to help me grow my business. But because it's subjective, that ultimately isn't going to be what grows the business. My second misconception that I had is that there would be a point to where my creativity was always peaked. I always had this vision in my mind that there was going to be a day to where I could just wake up every single day and I was going to make the best thing that I was ever going to create, and just always be flowing with creativity. Especially with leaving my full-time job, I honestly thought that that would just give me more time to be creative, but that wasn't really the case. I'm actually reading this book right now called Creative Ambush. The first chapter is about like demolishing all the things that you originally thought about creativity, and one of those things that they talk about is being okay with not being creative on a day. And that doesn't mean don't create anything, but really pushing through that mental block and even attempting to create something. Even if you throw the entire idea out, or if it turns into nothing, all it's going to do is help you learn more about yourself, and it's going to help you to, it's going to lower your barrier of non-creativity, if that makes sense. So even when you're not feeling creative, you're going to be more creative working through those blocks than if you don't do anything at all. Stop trying to only flex your creativity when you feel creative, and try to create something every single day. Some days it's literally like, damn, Ringo, I really don't want to do anything. Not being creative isn't the issue. The issue is that you're trying to run away from that idea. So I think the most important step is to fully accept when you're not feeling creative and being okay with it. Because if you accept it, it's no longer a bad thing. It's when you try to deny it and when you try to run away from it, that's what the real issue is. So that's number 2. The third misconception that I had is that it was always going to just be me. I think I had this realization before I even left my full-time job. I had this realization that I was going to be the one traveling all around the world. As you quit your job and you have all these clients now who may need you all on the same day in multiple places of the world, you realize that you can't be everywhere at once, especially if you want to scale and make more income. It just doesn't make sense that it's just always going to be you. So scaling doesn't necessarily always mean revenue. It could also mean scaling your team. Earlier this year, I hired my first employee. Shouts out to Molly. She helps me stay consistent and hone in on that reliability and trust. So by creating email automations for the entire process with working from new clients to clients that we've already had, we're actually about to implement a newsletter, and that's just one more thing that's going to help set us apart from a lot of our competitors. If we can provide constant value to our clients, it's naturally going to breed reliability. She has definitely helped to expand our business and drive more revenue. Obviously, it was a little challenging and it was a little scary to hire somebody, especially at 22 years old, and there's obviously always a lot of imposter syndrome involved with being a creative, and you're like, okay, but what if I can't pay her 1 month? But we are in August and that has not happened yet. So, and now I think we're almost ready for the next step, which would be to hire editors, either on a contract basis or full time, to take over projects after the production stage, so that I can focus more on the pre-production and production side of things, and hand it over for the post-production, so that the vision that I have for all my projects are still being carried out, but they don't have to be carried out by me. They can be carried out by somebody who's more qualified. Misconception number 4 that I had with becoming a full-time creative professional, that there was going to be a point where I didn't need to learn anymore, and I actually thought that I was going to be the one providing all the information, which I guess is kind of a two-parter. One, that I was never going to have to learn anything else, and then 2, I wasn't going to be able to share my experience until I learned everything that I thought I needed to learn. But again, with reading this book, Creative Ambush, it took everything that I thought that I knew about being a creative professional and basically threw it in the trash. So yeah, sometimes you have to unlearn things to learn something new, and I feel like that's the phase that I'm going through right now, which I think is very needed to upgrade myself to the next stage of where I want to take my business and take myself, with creating my personal brand, with building all these things that I want to do. I think the next step is to demolish the idea that I thought I had for myself, and then learning some new things, and then taking that old knowledge that I had. Matter of fact, not even taking the old knowledge I had, but taking the experience that I've already had and applying that to this new version of Durango Pain Media. If you want me to do a video on my top 5 books that have helped me to become a better creative, leave a comment down below, like this video, and subscribe for more awesome content. And then misconception number 5, which I honestly feel like a lot of creatives have this misconception, just because as creatives we never want to be boxed into just one creative thing. But misconception number 5 was that I could be everything for everybody. When I first started my videography journey, I had this idea that I could literally shoot, that I would be like the one-stop shop for anyone who needed any like media production. I thought that I could be the one-stop shop for all your video needs. So if you needed marketing videos, if you needed a video for your website, if you wanted to start a podcast, I was your guy. But I actually realized that trying to be too broad with the niche that you provide and with the services that you provide, you're actually going to catch a lot less fish than if you niche down, honestly, as narrow as you can get. When you start off, or when you're a freelancer, it's okay to be like everything to everybody, to really like learn what it is that you want to do and what you enjoy doing most, especially when you get out of that almost freelancer space and get more into like the business side of things. You honestly realize how important it is to be as specific as you can when it comes to what you offer as a business. So for me, I went from trying to be a sports videographer to a dental videographer to working with all these different industries. And when I finally decided that I was going to niche down, and now I can give my elevator pitch when somebody asks, okay, so what services do you provide? My brand specializes in short form video content for personal development companies / personal brands and sports, making that super niche. And now I only have a couple of target audiences, and obviously within your target audience you're gonna have more target audiences and things like that, but being very niche specific and not trying to go to everyone, but being able to only go to a select few industries, you become the professional in that industry. So now let's say Tony Robbins, for instance, needs a videographer for an event. I'm way more qualified to shoot that event than somebody who shoots sports the medical industry, and a whole bunch of different niches. That was my misconception number 5. And Durango recorded this in under 20 minutes, so I'm very happy about that. Let me know if you have any questions down in the description. I am real life trying to shoot more videos. I'm in Mexico. I feel like every time that I come here, I feel so inspired to create stuff for my personal brand, which I've been trying to grow. But obviously it's not gonna grow if I'm not filming anything. So yeah, coming out here, I'm always like, dang man, I really need to start shooting more for myself. And I love like videos that have a lot of edits and like, oh bam, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. But I kind of want my channel to just be like real and organic. I consider myself a yapper, so for me, it definitely is going to work a lot better if I just set up my camera and I just start talking to y'all. And I hope that y'all receive the information that I bring to y'all. So I need to come up with like a dope outro that ends with like, keep creating. It's been your boy Rango, Chef Rango. Cook it up, Rango cooked it up. And never stop creating. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I kind of like that.